Good afternoon, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 54. It is a Sunday afternoon, and as much as I hate to travel on Sunday afternoons, I've got to do it because I have work the next couple days and I won't be able to get out of the office too much. It is a nice cold day today. It's been snowing on and off. Currently 36 degrees, although that might not be completely updated on my car yet, and light flakes right now falling. Dark skies outside, but we got to do what we have to do. So today's goal is to play 2 sessions of blackjack, 4 sessions of slots, and we'll see what we can do. Planning on it taking longer than usual. So although it's early afternoon right now, I don't expect to get home till 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, just in time to take a shower to go to work. So that's what's happening right now, and just getting on the road, get myself situated, and I'll be back to update you shortly. Alright guys, I am back. I was in there for way too long. I was in there for about an hour and 20 something minutes probably, and things didn't go great. I walked in, I saw people immediately checking machines. I did see the group of guys that are running around the area, and they are at this casino right now. I don't want to give descriptions of them, but there's 5 guys. It looks like maybe 4 or 5 guys running around this casino right now from out of town. I don't know how much longer they'll be here, but they've been here for a little while. I found a couple small plays and was never really ahead. I played a lot of long plays, and one machine that I didn't know very well, that's a new machine that we're still exploring, and I feel like I got positive variance on there to help me get back to close to even, but didn't quite get there. Overall, not a great session. Overall, couldn't find a lot of stuff, so I may need to stay away from this place except when I have to, at least until I hear that these guys are gone. Also, a friend of mine who, I don't know, I didn't tell you anything actually because I didn't do an episode yesterday, but last night a friend of mine sent me a message saying that this machine was close to hitting. It was a $5,000 must hit by. He told me where it was, and I told him, please stay away from it. Chances are, you're going to lose a lot of money on it at that position. And he said, well, doesn't matter. Someone's on it now, and I'll let you know if they get off, and you can have it. I said, okay, well, just let me know where it's at. And he sends me a message back. It only went up by $1, and they're off it, so I'm playing it now. I'm like, okay, you're playing it. Go ahead and play it. And then about 2 hours later, I get another text message that said, this lady, he had it locked. When you're high tier at some places, they let you lock the machine for a certain number of hours. I believe this place is 2 hours. And he said, I had the machine locked so I could go to dinner. I went to dinner for a couple hours, and when I came back, there was a lady playing my machine. And when I talked to him today, he said that he got into an argument with her, but she had them unlock the machine even though it was locked for him, and that person got written up for unlocking it early and all this stuff. But the point is, I saw him, and he's still on the machine. So let me check my text messages and see when it was that he sent me a message that he sat down on it last night. So, whoops, wrong guy. Here we go. So we're talking about, well, that was 2 a.m. He was complaining. So he's been on that machine, midnight, probably 17 hours, and he is slow playing it. He is letting the spins go through and stop completely and count up the money. And if I was fast playing it from here, I would just be getting on the machine right now. I would not have played it before now. And I would say if he was fast playing it, he's 4 hours away. So I told him I would get in touch with him on my way home, which is in like 12 or 14 hours, and see how he's doing. But I don't think he's going to hit it by then. And he was already down like $3,000 at midnight last night. So I have a feeling it's going to be pretty tough for him. But anyway, I ended my session down $187. And right now I am moving on and make one stop first. And then I'll move on to the next casino. So I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. So last night my kids went to, yesterday actually, and the day before, my kids went to a church get-together thing. It's all teenagers and middle schoolers and things like that. And, you know, they got together and talked and, you know, learned together and things like that. And they actually put together food kits for Guatemala, like 2,500 food kits to send there with rice and beans and things like that, things that aren't going to go bad in shipping that they can send to the people there. Well, while I was in line in the pickup line, I get a call from a friend of mine in a different city, about 3 hours from me, and he told me that, oh, this casino where I go, they really effed up this time. They're going to be in some really big trouble. And I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, I can't tell you right now. There's too much going on. I will let you know soon. I said, okay. He tried to call me a few times earlier today, and we were able to finally talk a little bit ago, about half an hour ago. And he told me that he was in this casino and he had a voucher for about $250 or so, and he went to cash it in the high limit slot area, and he put his voucher in the machine, and as he was putting the voucher in the machine, he saw that there was already another voucher in the machine that the machine did not pay yet, and he said that it was a $1,000 ticket. So it was too late. The machine had sucked in his ticket, and so it spit out whatever, $1,250 or whatever it was. And so he was a little worried. He doesn't want to get in trouble. And he told me, he said, Joe, I've been in this country for 47 years. He said, to be in this country for 47 years and not have a lot of money and be a black man and never have gotten in any trouble ever is a big deal. And he said, for them to, you know, I don't want them to accuse me of doing anything wrong. So he saw a waitress and he asked her to come over. She came over and he asked her if she would call security, that he had found this money and it wasn't his and he wanted to turn it in. And she said, why don't you just give it to me and I'll take care of it? And he said, no way, I'll wait for security. So he said a few minutes later, about 3 or 4 security guards came. And they were all standing around him. And he explained the situation. And he said, I don't know exactly how much it was. I think it was $1,000 based on what I know my ticket was. Will you please check the camera? They checked the camera. It took about 10 minutes. And they determined that it was about $1,002. So he took out $1,002 and he handed it to them. And they asked him for his name and phone number. And he thought, well, you know, they're probably going to tell the person who lost it that I found it. That person will probably want to call me and thank me for it. So they said, okay, by the way, we're going to have to ask you to leave for the rest of the day. And he's like, what? Why would I have to leave? I'm the one who called you and told you I found money and I didn't want anyone to lose it. They said, that's our rule, you have to leave for the rest of the day. So I'll skip over some details that I'm not supposed to divulge to anybody. But basically, they called him about 20 minutes later, and they informed him that he's being banned from the casino for life for theft. And he couldn't understand why. He went back and forth with them a few times, and they said, that's our decision, and it's final, and that's what we want. And he had gotten some counsel from some people he knew who told him to call a lawyer. And I said, if you think that you're going to try to litigate this, that's up to you. But what are the damages that you incurred? Okay, so he's a sort of, maybe kind of slot hustler, but not really. He stays poor his whole life. He gambles too much. And kicking him out of the casino will probably make him have a better life, honestly. But he was so devastated by the fact that they would dare say that he stole money, that he's angry and wants to sue them. And I guess there were a bunch of people in the high limit room that were really upset when they saw what happened to him. And I said, well, what damages do you have? Are you going to claim that you're a slot hustler and you're losing money because they banned you? Are you going to say that it's defamation of character and that those people in the high limit area are people you know in your real life and they're no longer going to trust you for business deals? You don't have any damages, but he insisted that he's going to sue them. And I said, well, if you're going to sue them, then you need to get a lawyer as soon as possible and tell them to call the casino and lock down that video, because after, depending on the casino, 90 days, 120 days, that video is going to be gone, and then you're not going to be able to prove anything that was going on. And if anything, if that video is gone, and it's your word about against 3 or 4 security guards who say that you stole it, then you might get charges pressed against you at that point. So you need to make sure that you get that video preserved. So he said okay, and he wanted me to find him a lawyer, which I really don't want to have to find him a lawyer. I don't want to be responsible if this thing doesn't work out for him, which I don't think it's going to work out for him, because they're a private business. They have the right to eject people if they want to. They don't have to give you a reason why. I don't know where that's going to go. So I will look at some lawyers for him. I'll give him a couple options in his area, and I'm going to tell him, no matter what happens, you win or lose, I don't want credit, and I don't want you to be mad at me. Either way, whatever happens, it's in your hands. So I thought I'd share that with you. But you know, going back to a lot of things that I've heard in the past and a lot of things that I know from people that I know in security in casinos now, you know, that video is only held for so much time. If you think about how many cameras they might have 300 cameras or 500 cameras, even in a medium or small casino. And for them to keep that much video is a big liability. You got to figure if it's HD 4K video, then you're you know, every hour you're probably filling up 5 or 10 gigabytes minimum per camera. If you're at 10 gigabytes per camera times 500, you know, that's 5 terabytes an hour, 24 hours a day, 90 days. If they hold it for 90 days, I mean, that is an enormous, it's half a petabyte of information that they'd be storing. So yeah, he needs to get on them as soon as he can to get that preserved. I don't know where it's going to go, but I thought it was an interesting story, so I thought I'd share it with you. If you guys have anything you want to share with me about it, any ideas or anything that you think will help him, or if you know anyone else who's gone through something like that, let me know and I'll pass the information along to him. He does not know that I'm an advantage player. He just knows that I play a lot and I know what I'm talking about, and I'm intelligent, so that's why he came to me and confided in me. So letting you go for now. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. So I walk into this place and I see a machine that's a relatively new machine. We know some about it, but not a lot. We know the risk level on it, and we know about where positive EV starts, and it was just barely positive EV, and it was a big play. It was $8 a spin, and you can fast play the heck out of this game. You can spin probably 1.7 times a second on this game. So $8 is it's a lot of money. So before you knew it, I was involved on this machine for 900. I was down as much as like 775. I had 900 in it, and I finally hit. And anyway, long story short, on that machine I ended ahead like $615 on it. So I was happy. You know, I'm proud. I'm walking around. I find another play. I lose about $20. And then I'm looking around and I see this guy, and I know that game is over, that I'm not going to find a lot of other plays in here. I talked to him. We're talking about what's going on in the area and people coming in from out of town and things like that. And I was discussing with him, and I said, I was here, on this day last week, and I saw this guy, and he was doing this on this machine. What's up with that? And he's like, what day was it? Oh, that's so-and-so. He's friends with so-and-so, and they were doing this play on it. He knows everything that's going on in the area. So I talked to him for a while, and he told me about this degenerate play that he did. He was playing the same machine I lost about $20 on. He was playing a high-limit version of it. He was playing about $18 a spin, and he got himself buried on there, $2,500 on a play that he shouldn't have made. And the only reason he did that play is the same thing that I've warned you guys about, and that is don't get bored and play half-assed plays that you shouldn't be playing. And I've got myself into that trap before. I'm down a couple $100. This play is okay. I'm going to give it a shot. It worked last time, but overall you're going to lose money. So that's what he did. He lost $2,500 on the play. Then he goes back and plays this, what do you call that one machine? Money Link? Fire Link? Something. The one it's not an advantage play, so don't go looking it up, where if you get 6 balls that have numbers on them, then you get that much money, and then you get free spins. Well, he played that. He said he just went bonkers. He was so upset that he lost that. He had $2,000 more on him, and he played that machine at max bet. And I don't know if you know that machine, but max bet on that thing can be huge. I've seen 25,000 max bets on that machine. But in this case, at this place, the max bet was $250, which means he had 8 spins to hit something. And he lucked out, and he hit for $44,500. And he has a partner that he splits the money with, and he had to let her know about it, and she was pissed. And he's like, well, I'll split it with you. And she's like, I don't want your dirty money. And she was pissed at him. And I don't blame her, because in the long run, he does that with team money. He's going to lose all the team money. But all of us have that little gamble in us sometimes. And, you don't want to give up. You're upset. You're on tilt. And that's when you got to stop and think. And I've had to do this to myself before. Okay, I'm down, 8,000 today on blackjack. Why am I still playing? Is my mind still in order? Am I still feeling okay? Am I tired? Am I hungry? Am I tilted? Am I overbetting? You have to go through those things, and if you are, you got to get out of there, because if you start overbetting on blackjack or slots or anything, that's an advantage. You're overbetting your advantage, and you're going to end up losing in the long run, or winning in the long run. But one way or another, you're going to have a huge variance, and if it's negative, which it very well could be, you could wipe out a large part of your bankroll for no reason. So anyway, that's my public service announcement. Imagine a shooting star going by on the screen saying, the more you know. All right, moving on. All of a sudden, it is a nice day. The sky cleared up. It's not snowing anymore. The temperature went up. The sun is shining, although the sun is going down. Oh, I was wondering why the sun is still up at this hour. Because we jumped forward in time last night, so that's why the sun is still up. I'm like, how could the sun still be up this late? So I get one more extra hour, I guess, of daylight. Moving on to the next place, we're going to be playing some blackjack, and I am waiting for a machine on this place to hit a certain point, and I brought a lot of money in case it does. It could be a 5 or 6 hour play. It could be $15,000 in coin in for it, so just want to be prepared. And if it's anywhere close, I am going to take it. Obviously I want to make money on it, but I do have other motives in this casino. So even if I lose 1,000 or 1,500 on this machine, it would be worthwhile for what I'm trying to do. So for now, I'm letting you go. I'm moving on to the next casino. Going to enjoy the good weather, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I'm back. So didn't have the greatest time there, but it was all right. So I walk in there, and it is jam-packed on a Sunday night. Dark outside. Couldn't find a table at first, and then a table clears up, and there's a guy and his girlfriend, wife at the table next to it. He gets up and walks over to that table, and it's no mid-shoe entry. So I go to the table he got up from, and I sit down there, and it's not done shuffling. So he had lost pretty quickly early in the shoe, is what the dealer told me. So I'm waiting and waiting, and then he calls the pit boss over, and he's like, take a look. And I guess it was a red light. It didn't look like a red light, so I don't know what was going on. So he says, do a hand shuffle. This dealer is hand shuffling like molasses. He is so slow, and he's talking to me and telling me stories and explaining how to bet the right way and how to win. If you want to win, you got to do it this way. You got to listen to me. I've been doing this for so long. I know what I'm talking about. So let me get this straight. You've been doing this for so long, you know what you're doing, and you're still working your job. Why didn't you make all the money already? So anyway, played at that table. Never really had any high counts. Was stuck in hand shuffle, land forever. And the dealer was slow, and other tables were full, and I really couldn't go anywhere. I really wasn't losing any money, but I wasn't winning any money. I bought in for 500, and I was playing on my original 500 the whole time. And finally I said, I'm at the end of the shoe, I'm just leaving. And I ended up pushing the last hand and getting up ahead exactly 500. So I was happy to finally get up. That guy's stories were just aggravating. Then when I was leaving, the pit boss had to tell me a story. When I was a dealer, he says, I was dealing to this guy, and he was ahead $998,000. And my boss came down from upstairs, and he was freaking out because the guy was up so much money. And he says, I told my boss, well, he's either going to win 2,000 more or he's going to give it all back. So don't worry about it. The most we're going to lose is 2,000 more anyway. And he claimed that 9 hours later, the guy left with 110,000 left out of 998,000. And he was explaining to me how it's good to get up when you're ahead. And I said, yeah, you're right. I'm going to listen to you. I'm doing it. I'm leaving right now. So I walk away from the table. Go to the cashier. The line is extra long. Luckily, I've got a higher colored card, and I was able to go through the short line, but still a couple people cut in front of me, but I got through after a few minutes. They were doing some kind of a shift change, so they had 4 cashiers, and 2 of them finished up with their current customer and then closed their windows, so it slowed things down a little bit. But all in all, not bad on the blackjack table. Not very exciting, but nothing wrong with that. Went over and started looking at some slots. I was ahead 10, down 20, up 10, up 30, up 20. But again, wasn't going anywhere. And I did see a couple friends of mine checking machines in there, so there wasn't going to be very much in there. I ended up leaving the slots ahead $30. While I was walking around, this guy was just standing around the middle of the aisleway, and he's got a slip in his hand, and some of these casinos will give you a paper to hold until they get back. You trade them the paper for your jackpot. If you win a jackpot, it's like a receipt while they go get the money. So he's just standing there. He starts talking to me, and he's telling me how he wins at roulette. He was waiting for a $4,700 payout. And basically, he was just talking about, like, betting an area, this corner or that corner or whatever. And, I listened to him for a while, and he was pretty confident about what he was saying. He looked like a successful guy, but, it was 5 point whatever percent in the house favor, So, blackjack, 0.4%, 0.3%, depending on what the rules are. And roulette, more than 10, 12 times that much house advantage. So anyway, I did finally end up leaving. I'm all of a sudden tired for no reason at all, because that didn't really take a lot of brain power. All my counts were low the whole time, between a -10 and a running count to maybe a true 3, I think is as high as I got. So it was not a very exciting session. But anyway, right now I'm moving on to another casino, and then I'm going to figure out where I'm at here time-wise and probably get some food to eat. So letting you go for now, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, let me give you an update here. I got an update from my little friend who is slow playing the $5,000 must-hit-by jackpot. He is still a world away from it. He's hardly moved the needle at all. It's now been almost 24 hours that he's been playing it. Another hour, I think, will be 24 hours. And I called him to ask him what was going on. He said he's down about 6,000 on there. And where he is right now is pretty much in the money. So if he continues on and he has enough money, he'll end up the session probably down 5,000 or 6,000 overall. So, you know, math is math. You can get lucky, and he tries to get lucky, but in the long run, you got to trust the math. So, unfortunately for him, it's going to be, you know, probably if he keeps going at the level he's going, it's going to be 2 days of play. I don't know how he's going to do it. I'll probably call him in a couple hours and see how he's doing. He may ask me to finish playing it for him because he's so tired. Because, you know, that you don't understand how tiring it is to push a slot machine button for 3 hours straight, and this guy's up to 24 hours almost. So he's got to be in a lot of pain. So anyway, all right, moving on to the next place, and I'll be back to update you shortly. All right, guys, I'm back. What did you eat, MW? Burger King. Yeah, so I was trying to get Wendy's, and their app is awful. It's just awful. It's so hard to order on it. I mean, even just setting up a username and password was such a pain in the butt. But I tried to order on it, didn't work out. I found a Burger King a few minutes away from where I was, and I ordered a small Whopper meal with a Coke for $7.99. I go through the drive-thru, and they're like, when did you order it or something? And I'm like, 10 minutes ago. They're like, it's not here and stuff. So I looked at my app, and it's still in my cart. So I order it again, and it's still in my cart. So I'm like, look, I ordered it twice. I don't want to keep getting charged for this. So I checked my bank account. Nothing was pending, so I just canceled it out. And they said, now you said it was a large Whopper meal, right? I said, well, let me be honest with you. It's a small Whopper meal, but I wouldn't mind a large Whopper meal for that price. So after doing some Burger King employee math, they found a way to get it lower by mistake than the small meal was supposed to be. So I ended up paying like $7.50 for it with cheese on it. And while they were making it, the manager was talking to me, telling me about how she's a single mom with 3 kids, and she understands trying to save money using the app and stuff like that. And I said, single mom? 3 kids? Can I have your number? No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. So anyway, I had my food. It was delicious. Everything is good. And I'm on my way to the next casino. I expect things to be a lot better at this casino. The last casino I went to, actually, I got 0. Did not find a single play. I think I might have skipped it in the podcast here. I went in, found nothing at all, and didn't play a thing, didn't put any money in, and ended up leaving that place. So right now we're moving on to the next place with a nice full stomach, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. So, man, I don't know where to begin. I've been gone for so long. I was in that place for about 3 hours and was just chasing a couple of long plays. One of them was just garbage all the way through. Luckily for me, it was a low bet amount, or I would have really gotten killed. I lost, played that thing for about an hour and 40 minutes and lost about $550 on it. Played a couple other small plays, a couple medium plays. I mean, I went through everything and had ups and downs all over the place and saw some very interesting characters in there. One of them was extremely scary. something that happened to me. I'm walking through the casino, and I'm looking one way, looking the other way, looking for slot machines and things like that. And this lady, who's dressed in like, I don't want to say bag lady type clothes, but like baggy with multiple coats, and she was very, very skinny and was like hunched over, and her face was like gray, and she like was walking awkwardly like a zombie. I hate to say that, but like she was like a zombie lady, and was walking awkwardly, like stumbling over here, stumbling over there, then walked right up to me and stuck her face right in my face and gave me a weird look, like a nasty stare, like I did something wrong to her or something. And then she walked away, and she was walking like sideways, kind of like, so she was walking away from me, but kind of like walking straight and stumbling sideways at the same time. It was very scary. And I go, whoa. And the people around me were like, what the heck was that? And I don't know what was going on with her, but I saw her a few times walking around in there. I have no clue if she's homeless, if she's with someone, if she's high, no idea, but it was a very scary experience. I also saw a guy in there that I had mentioned in a different episode, an episode where I had a flat tire and a guy helped me out, and we had a couple burgers together. I saw him earlier in the day, like my second stop of the day. Talked to him for a few minutes and moved on from there. And then there was one lady that was upset because the casino only served Pepsi products, and she was angry because she said it's not like they can't afford Coke, they just don't want to spend the money. So I thought that was kind of awkward. What else? There was an old man, I have to say old man because he's probably in his late 70s, and he was sitting on a chair outside the bathrooms, the men's room and the ladies' room, and was just sitting there facing the bathroom doors. And he was like that the whole time I was in there, so at least a couple hours he was sitting like that, and even when I left, he was still sitting like that. So I don't know what his deal is, if he was waiting for someone, if he has nowhere to go, if he's lost. I have no clue. He looked like he was comfortable, and he was just sitting there, you know, just looking. I don't know what his deal was, but it was very strange. So about 20 minutes before I left, I was ready to go. I was tired. I was down like 565, and I took one more lap around and found a couple nice plays, and actually ended up leaving down 266. So was not a great day. What we lost 400, and we made 1,200. So we made like $800 today. It's a very mediocre day in an area I don't really like to go to, but I didn't really have a choice. And what's worse is the next 2 days are going to be very anemic. And with my European trip coming up, I'm really worried I'm going to fall pretty far behind, because the way I've got it figured, I need to gain about 16,000 between now and the end of the month. And today we're past midnight, so it's March 11th, and I'll be gone for 7 days, 8 days. So that means I'm going to have like 10 days or less, of which 4 days I can't go anywhere. So 6 days, so I'm going to have to make like 4,000 a day to get to where I want to be. But, you know, obviously we're not going to push it. We're going to do what we can and gain money wherever we can. But I hate to fall behind. And that's one thing about going on vacations. It relaxes you, but then you come back and you're behind on your goals. But maybe it'll do me some good. Right now, it is 1:15 a.m. and I'm moving on to another casino. I'm not calling it quits. I'm going to keep on going and try to make more money. Work is not for another 7 hours. So, and going home is about 3 hours. So I have about 4 hours to spend. I will need to stop and get gas. I got about 20 miles range. I got a gas station in the GPS already programmed. It's about 18 miles away, and then we should be good for the rest of the trip home. So right now, letting you go and moving on to another casino. Alright guys, I am back. So, man, I got to this place, and as soon as I walked in, sir, can I see your ID? I'm like, why? Well, we've had a lot of trouble here lately. People stealing things, getting into arguments, fights, things like that. So we just ask for everyone's ID when they come in now. I'm thinking, yeah, your customers are going to love that. So for now, they're checking ID on everyone. This is a slots only place, so I'm not too worried about it. I don't have any kind of heat or anything on me for it. I'm good with the company overall, so I gave them my ID. I walked in, I checked a bunch of machines, and I played one machine. I loaded a couple hundred in there because it was going to be $6 a spin, and I figured that would be a good start, and hit almost immediately, and ended that had like $207. Walked around, looked at some other stuff, and really couldn't find much else. And part of the problem was more than half of the gaming floor was roped off because they were cleaning. So they had all the chairs removed, and they were cleaning the carpets, cleaning the corners, the edges, all the little details. So a lot of the plays that I could have made would have been in that area, so I wasn't able to check those. So I ended that session ahead $207. I regret even putting my card in, because I just made it look like I came in and spent $6 or $12 and made a profit and left. So that's not good for any future prospects of free play, even though I pretty much get nothing right now anyway. I want to use the beginning of the week also to talk about churning credit cards and other things, and some offers that I've gotten recently and how I've handled them, and the kind of things that I've done in order to get the points. I am very new to this, but I quickly learned how to make some decent money very quickly. I may have gotten lucky with the offers that I got, but I'll talk a little bit about that starting tomorrow and Tuesday. Other than that, it's going to be 5 o'clock when I get home. So I'm just going to take my time and be safe, listen to more podcasts. At the casino I just came from, the one before this one, that is, I listened to podcasts for about 2 hours while I was in there, and my battery was down to like 3%. I happened to be on one of the only machines that didn't charge cell phones, so I had to put it in like extended battery saver just to be able to get out of there without my battery dying. But overall, boring. But I hope you learned something. Hopefully it helped you. Hopefully you can relate, whatever. And I try to be as honest and upfront as possible, so you can see what it's really like. It's not all fun and games. It's not like the movie 21, where you walk in, you're dressed nice, they hand you piles of money, and you walk out. It is a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. And I'm starting to spread out now into other things, and I'm excited about that. And hopefully you guys will learn something from that too, and it'll give you some shortcuts so you don't have to hit your head on the wall like I did for a lot of this stuff. So for now, I'm going to let you go. If you have any questions or comments, the email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you tomorrow.